GM just threw a curveball, ditching EVs and surprising everyone with a plan to resurrect gas-powered cars. CEOs and EV enthusiasts alike were left bewildered. But hold on. Mary Barra, GM's CEO, heard the public outcry and made a U-turn on GM's EV strategy. Why the sudden switch from EVs after burning through billions? Are EV makers hiding something? If you thought gas cars were a thing of the past, think again. In a shocking move, General Motors is flipping the script, defying the government's push for EVs. Mary Barra just declared a halt to most of GM's EV plans, opting for good old combustion cars, affordable no-frills, and what the people apparently want. The EV market has been harsh on GM, causing them to bleed over $1 billion last year. Now let's rewind to 2019 when GM waved goodbye to gas cars, betting big on Chevy pickups and the promising Chevy Bolt EV, riding high on the Ultium EV platform. Their plan was bold: flood the streets with electric cars, leaving gas vehicles in the dust. Fast forward to today, and the EV dreams hit a speed bump. The Bolt, expected to be their best seller, didn't quite meet expectations. GM, once fueled with enthusiasm, is now changing lanes. Production and delivery issues plagued Chevy Bolt, and the much-anticipated Ultium-powered EVs struggled to break the 1,000-unit mark. Then, out of the blue, GM's CEO Mary Barra dropped a bombshell. They're making a U-turn, heading back to gas cars. Surprisingly, gas cars are still flying off the shelves, while some EVs are catching fire and facing criticism for subpar interiors. Mary Barra openly admitted on an earnings call that GM couldn't beat Tesla or turn a profit in the EV business. Adding insult to injury, they weathered the storm of a United Auto Workers strike, shelling out over $750 million in just a week. As a result, they had to offload their EVs at a massive loss, losing over $1 billion in their EV venture. GM's CEO has pulled a complete 180, telling all EV makers to take a back seat. The reality is that people aren't ready to pay $60,000 to $80,000 for an EV that struggles in winter and isn't great for towing. Imagine the anticipation for the 2024 Chevy Equinox EV with a $30,000 price tag, only to hear, maybe not. Why? Well, recent EV fires have shaken the industry. With a myriad of EV problems, people are gravitating towards gas cars in the more affordable range. Mary Barra acknowledges that Tesla is light years ahead in the EV game. They've got the tech, the profits, and the scale. GM's playing catch-up, and the only way they see profits on the horizon is by reverting to gas cars. In fact, last quarter, GM's gas car sales outpaced Ford's, making them the #1 in America. Mary Barra is not holding back. She's telling everyone that making EV batteries is crazy expensive, and don't hold their breath for affordable EVs anytime soon. She's predicting it might take another 10 years, and guess what? GM isn't the only one in this mess. Ford is feeling the heat too. GM had this grand plan to flood the streets with electric trucks, but they hit a speed bump. They're pumping the brakes until 2025, talking about managing money and syncing up with what people want. And it's not just a US problem. GM's having a tough time in China too. Their sales are slipping and they can't keep up with the local competition. Now let's talk about Ford. They're in the same boat, trimming down the production of their electric star, the F-150 Lightning. Originally, they wanted to flood the market, but it seems like people aren't as interested as they thought. And here's the real talk on EVs: they're having some serious issues. Fires? Yep, even GM's EVs were in a fatal accident. Tesla, the big shot in the EV game, isn't immune either. Their cars are catching fire too. And when the weather gets cold, EV batteries drop faster than your phone's battery on a bad day. EVs are piling up repair issues like there's no tomorrow. If your battery calls it quits, be ready to cough up enough cash to buy a whole new car just for a battery replacement. Even the Biden administration is jumping on the EV bandwagon, setting up stricter emissions norms and basically telling car makers to go electric or go home. EVs were supposed to save us money, but between the explosions, repair bills, and the charging stations, the savings seem elusive. So what's the bottom line here? EVs were envisioned as our ride into a cleaner, greener future, but right now, they look more like ticking time bombs on wheels. GM had its fair share of struggles with recalls and less-than-stellar launches like the Hummer EV and the Blazer EV. Now, with the EV market not shining as bright as they hoped, GM is taking a U-turn back to gas cars. It's a big reality check, not just for GM, but for the entire auto industry. EVs clearly have issues, and maybe we aren't as ready for the electric revolution as we thought. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Until next time.